Hey everyone, welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. I'm with this one, talking about the Raw before SummerSlam this Sunday, and I don't know, this is just me and this is my personal opinion. I always think that the televised show before the pay-per-view is always important. It's always important to have because it's the last minute chance to help really build up matches, and it's also the last chance for matches to get put on the card and to get the crowd excited like, oh my god, this person's going to be on the show? Oh man, I really want to see it now. Or, wow, they're going to do a match. Oh, I can't wait to see it this Sunday. You know, shit like that. And now that I'm done acting like a 12-year-old girl that just saw a picture of Randy Orton for the first time. Sorry, still having a little coughing issues with the, from that bug a couple weeks back. So, having a little bit of a hard time breathing here and there. But, anyways, starting out with the show, they actually started out with Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett, and that's actually on how they started the show. No opening song with "Tonight's the Night" song or pyro or nothing. Excuse me. They just flat out started out with Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring, which different but good. Good kind of different. You know, crowd was really into seeing Bryan come on out. Bryan, biggest thing in there right now. Bigger than Punk even. And yeah, I know. Oh wow, yeah, ooh. The CM Punk mark is actually saying something about someone else. You know what, you fuckers? People can actually like other wrestlers besides just one. But anyways, this crowd was a hell of a lot better than Green Bay was. And certainly a hell of a lot better than that Texas crowd that TNA Impact had last week. And as far as with the Green Bay crowd Raw had, I had some kind of message I wanted to give them. I just can't seem to remember what it was. What was it I was gonna say? It's on the tip of my tongue. Don't tell me. It's, I can't remember. Anyways, on with the match. Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan, good solid match. Really nice to see them two going at it. Really hope that they actually have a feud afterwards, after SummerSlam, and like have it be if Bryan wins the match at SummerSlam, like all the dirt sheets are saying it is gonna happen. Have it be Vince throwing Barrett at him, you know, basically like if he was a bulldog, like if he was an attack dog. You know, like, Daniel Bryan, you're going to have a match, and it's against Wade Barrett. And, I don't know, I think that's pretty good Vince McMahon impersonation. Anyways, it was a good, solid match. Really kind of confused that they had Brad Maddox as the guest referee. Didn't really see the reason on why. Big thing on it that confused me more than anything, aside from Maddox being in the match, the quick count at the end. Maddox wound up doing a screw job on Bryan because Barrett got the roll up on him. Barrett got the roll up on Daniel Bryan and did a quick 3 count. At least that's what they say. Now, they even showed a replay on Raw, and I rewound it a few times myself. God bless DVRs. And check. All Maddox did was, ring the bell, ring the bell. Really? I mean, for Christ's sake. Why don't you talk to Earl Hebner? He would teach you on how to do a screw job better. Made no sense to me. But afterwards, had Daniel Bryan staring down Maddox like he was getting ready to kick his head off and then start playing with it like a soccer ball. Which, Vince, if you or anyone in WWE headquarters is watching this, that would actually make for good TV. And since you're looking for entertainment, that would be very entertaining to watch. Anyways, that was it. It was kind of confusing with that, especially with Maddox as the ref. They'll explain that later on in the night. They explained that later on in the night, and I'll get into that in a minute. Next match they had was Sandow versus Randy Orton, which, really, how many times can we see Mr. Money in the Bank versus Mr. Money in the Bank? You had Cody at ringside doing commentary, and you had Sandow with the new Sandowized Money in the Bank briefcase because Cody tossed the original in the Gulf of Mexico, and it was waterlogged, rusted, damaged. In which case, if you all like the Sandowized Money in the Bank briefcase, you would all definitely like the Tim Vicious Eyes Money in the Bank briefcase, or gym bag, however you want to define it. Don't judge me, damn it, I'm on a poor man's budget. I make do with what I have. Anyways, the creepiest part about when Sandow came out with the briefcase was he had a long set of handcuffs. He opened it up, pulled out a long set of handcuffs from it. Which, all I could think is, do they realize that pulling out a long set of handcuffs out of a briefcase with a man who's supposed to be an intellectual savior gimmick kind of makes him look like he's a little, freaky, you know? And I mean, like, not like freaky like I'm freaky, but I mean, like, you ever see the Gimp from Pulp Fiction? That's the kind of freaky I'm talking about. Anyways, obviously Sandow had the advantage for the first part of the match. Randy wound up coming back right out of nowhere. Power slam, elevated DDT, went for an RKO. Sandow rolled out the ring, started getting into a screaming match with Cody. Wound up getting back in. Orton hit the RKO. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Ding, ding, ding. Obviously, Randy won. How many times are we going to see the Ultra Babyface win? You know, can we just start seeing the bad guys win a match every now and again sometimes? I mean, I know the whole, it's supposed to be good versus bad, good versus evil, good's supposed to triumph, but to give the illusion that good truly triumph, you have to have evil have some advantage and win some. You know? Anyways, after that, the next match they had was Khali and Natalya versus AJ and Big E. And it made no sense to me because, one, it's Great Khali, and really, Khali looks like a reject from The Hills Have Eyes. And you know, they didn't even have Khali or Big E actually compete in the match. They had Natalya and AJ wound up doing like a 3-minute headlock of doom, and then she started screaming at Hornswoggle, who was down ringside with Khali, and they don't even bother to mention that why he was gone for so long or anything like that, you know. I mean, I know he was doing a Leprechaun movie, but at least acknowledge it. But the other reason on why that match was really confusing to me was the finish. It seemed kind of sloppy to me. You know, Natalya had the sharpshooter on AJ tapped. The ref didn't notice it at first because apparently arguing with Hornswoggle, and then, you know, Nat heard AJ tap and she let go. The ref's just like, huh, what, like, and then Nat goes and does it again, and then AJ taps again. Really? I'm just, what? Somebody want to explain it to me? And then you have Big E and AJ both get the snot kicked out of them post-match. You know, it made no sense because they have a mixed tag match at SummerSlam. Why not have them win so that way you can build hype for them to show that they are a strong tag team? You know, that they're strong and working together. It would make sense, would it not? But, anyways, After that, they had Vince McMahon come out, and all I could think is, Vince, what the hell? Did Stevie Wonder dress you? Did Stevie Wonder pick out your outfit? And because he looked like he just took stuff, like he just took drapes off of a window curtain, gave them to a tailor, excuse me, and said, make this into a suit. And did. And again, with the Vince McMahon impersonation. But came out, and I swear, the older he gets, that power walk he does looks more and more like he's trying to hide he has it depends on, and that he's trying to hide he made a poop in him. But he comes out, he calls out Maddox, asks about what he did earlier. Maddox says that Bryan's been a little erratic lately with his matches, and I'm thinking, the fuck? Why didn't you guys start doing that? Why didn't you guys bother to do that shit when he was still teaming with Kane, doing the whole I'm not the weak link thing? That would have worked out better. But heaven forbid you guys think on that. Anyways, Maddox wound up suggesting, let me be the special guest referee for the John Cena-Daniel Bryan match at SummerSlam. You're gonna call it down the middle? Yes. Cross your heart? Cross my heart. Scout's honor? Scout's honor. Random fact, Brad Maddox never even earned his first merit badge in Boy Scouts. But just as Vince was about to say, it's official, Hunter's music cued, he came out. What Vince looked like, let's not go airing our dirty laundry. And Hunter just looked, I'm not here to air dirty laundry. You want him as the referee? Why don't we have somebody who's unbiased, knows the ring, this, that, and the other shit, and then throws himself in the mix. And then goes to proceed to give Maddox a pedigree, which wound up getting botched because, for whatever reason, Maddox's arm couldn't move all the way back. The hell, did he tear a rotator cuff or something? Yep, I mean, you could even see Hunter's fighting to pull his arm up, but for whatever reason, he couldn't. But the whole McMahon-Helmsley feud, that's doing good. It's leading up to a good thing. I'm hoping that it leads up to a good thing at SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, at WrestleMania. So hopefully it should. Anyways, next match they had was Kane versus Titus O'Neil. Your atypical squash match. Yeah, Titus didn't even really get a chance to try and show any offense. Kane went in there, man on a mission, choke slam, 1, 2, 3, that's it. After the match, Wyatt's music cued, they came out. Bray Wyatt sat down in the rocker, next thing you know, at the lamp. Lights came back on, Kane's not in the ring. Just looking like, what? Where? He's over there, behind Bray Wyatt. And Kane's just looking like, I got your number now. I know what you guys are. I know how you guys work. And then did the thing to cue the pyro. In which case, the Ring of Fire match I'm looking forward to. Not so much because of the whole idea of you have to set your opponent on fire to win the match, but because it's, the fact of it's an inferno match either way. I mean, for Christ's sake, this is about as close to a Japanese death match as the U.S. is going to get. I mean, and it's... Wow. That, and I'm happy the way they're working with Kane now, making him go back to the devil's favorite demon bit instead of the whole big red machine or big red monster. Because, for all intents and purposes, Kane, the character itself, Kane, was forged in hell, basically. Because if you think about it, with the Kane character, stepbrother to the Undertaker, was told he was burnt and mutilated his whole life, that he's a monster and this, that, and the other. And he had no sympathy, no love or anything. The only person that loved him was his dad, Paul Bearer. And that was it. Next thing you know, and so it's beautiful just on how they're working the devil's favorite demon bit back in. You know, they're not just rebooting it, calling them the big red monster one last week, and now this week they're saying, oh, and the devil's favorite demon gets the win. You know, no, the way they're doing it, it's good. Anyways, next match they had Del Rio versus Kofi. I'm not even gonna bother to try and explain that match because really, it's Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. It's your atypical squash match, and Del Rio got the win. Big shock. You know, I would just like to see Del Rio have a legit match on Monday or Friday nights, and it be with a mid-carder instead of it just being a squash match. Yeah, it makes no sense. The only time he has solid matches is when he's going up against Cena or Punk on Monday or Friday nights. Other than that, he never does. It's boring, and it's a damn shame because Del Rio, for all intents and purposes, is really talented. But they don't put that talent to use. They just use it for pay-per-views. I don't see the point in it, but I look for skill over style. That's just me. Anyways, next up they had the Americans versus the Usos. And the only part in that match that I was actually interested in was when Zeb Coulter had the mic, because Zeb can get heat from any kind of crowd. I swear, even if he's in the most right-wing conservative city on the face of the earth that all winds up thinking the exact same way he does, he could still find a way to make... You could have the entire auditorium think the same way Zeb Coulter does, and yet he'll still find that one way, that one little tick that'll make everyone all there go and boo him. Anyways, they had the Usos. Like I said, the Usos were jobbing for so long, it's hard for me to see them as an actual credible tag team, you know, that deserves TV time. Especially, you know, they do a super kick, 2-second stink face, Samoa drops, and body splashes. That's pretty much all the moves that they ever have them do. Shake it up, guys. You know how to do more than that. But yet, the Usos wound up getting the win. And at the end, they had Zeb Coulter up on the Titantron looking like, no! And just picture Zeb Coulter with that beard and mustache that he has, with that face. It just looks like that was just screaming, you'll like a little troll under a bridge yelling, I'm gonna get you or something. In which case, if anyone has that picture, go ahead, make that into a wrestling meme. That would be pretty funny. It'd be about as funny. It would actually be as funny as the Lance Storm one with the grumpy cat line with Lance Storm. I was happy once. It was the worst time of my life. In which case, all I could think was, the first time I saw that picture, if I could be serious for a moment. But anyways, enough with the Wayback Machine. Time to move forward. They did Miz TV, which, for all intents and purposes, I can't figure out why. Because Miz is now basically the Ryan Seacrest of WWE. He'll go and work commentary, then he'll do TV, then he'll do the TV show. Now he's the SummerSlam host. Next thing you know, you're going to have him selling falafels outside a Night of Champions. And They had the Miz TV segment with Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Which case, the first thing I thought of with them was, why do you have all that furniture there if you're not going to have anyone sit on it? Because, I mean, seriously, I got a chair right here. I use it every week. You know why I use it? Because I sit on it. Because I guarantee if I did this show right here, standing up the whole time with the chair right behind me, I guarantee you would have people watching just thinking, why doesn't he sit on that chair? Why isn't he sitting? He's got a chair right there. You know? Why? But anyway, the segment didn't even really need Miz. You know? They could have just done that with Bryan or Cena coming out, going to talk smack, and then have the other come out and go face to face with them. And Cena talking about on how he doesn't see Bryan in the same league as Shawn Michaels, Triple H, The Rock, you know, this, that, and the other, that he's just going to be another fight. And Bryan saying his whole life, or not his whole life, his whole career, everyone has just seen him as a fight. No one's ever seen him for what he is. Which, for all intents and purposes, is true. Bryan has been the underdog pretty much his whole career. I mean, I remember seeing him in Ring of Honor. And I would just see him and I'd be like, oh, he's good. I mean, I wasn't a huge Daniel Bryan. I wasn't a big Bryan Danielson mark. But, yeah, but I was like, wow, he's good. I like him. He's got skill. I could see this guy going far. And, you know, Bryan is, for all intents and purposes, a guy who should be at the top of the mountain, but isn't put up at the top of the mountain. Why? Don't know. He's got a good build. He's got a good body build. He's 5'9", so Vince probably has a thing with height. The beard, I see no problem with. The only thing I see is I liked Bryan on how he looked last week with the hair pulled back. But hey, that's me. I'm not going to say anything on that. But to sum up basically what them two were saying to each other back and forth, Bryan said that Cena's more fashion before passion. And Cena said he's doing this because he wants to please them. You know, because he's going to make people happy. And, you know, then bringing up a Make-A-Wish thing that he did earlier that day, which the crowd did a good pop on, but to me that just felt like it was a cheap pop. Like, you know, like you were just bringing up, oh yeah, hi, I also do Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes also. And, really? Why would you do that? Why would you bring that up? It's not needed. But, you know, and then at the end, Bryan talked about on how wrestlers in Japan show to get ready for a match that they have with each other. They slap each other in the face. Bryan said he would do that with Cena, but he refuses to because he doesn't see Cena as a wrestler. Which, I don't blame him. I don't see Cena as a wrestler. I'll respect the fact that for what he does outside of the ring with the charity work that he does. But that's it. The guy has a good heart, and his heart is in the right place when he does that work for the kids. But other than that, no. I don't see him as a wrestler. It's... Nah. Yeah, but... You know, then Cena right out of nowhere, wham, slaps Bryan. And Bryan's just looking like he's getting ready to go postal on him. Next thing you know, Hunter comes out, pulls them two apart like, whoa, 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 easy guys, easy, easy. And then right out of nowhere, you hear Randy Orton's music come out, and Randy just standing there holding the briefcase up. In which case, again, the Tim Vicious-sized Money in the Bank briefcase slash gym bag. It's a good idea. But the whole reason for why was Randy just standing on the apron holding the case up? I mean, it felt like the only thing was missing was Teddy Long coming out saying that they were gonna make a tag team match. You know, it's what? I mean, why? Next thing you know, you had Fan up, down, left, right, BA, left, right, BA, start. No, it's Fan Wiggly? No. Fan Booger? No. Fan M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong? I think so, but you had him versus R-Truth. They didn't even do a match, they just danced, and then once they started dancing, I just said screw it and went to the bathroom. After that, you had #1 contender battle royal for the US title. The only two guys that I saw that could probably win it was Mark Henry and Rob Van Dam. Other than that, everyone else I was just like, yeah, they definitely ain't. Which, surprise, surprise, the very first one was Justin Gabriel, because heaven forbid they would bother to try and push him, you know? And, you know, after that, they also had like 3MB, Great Khali, the Usos, the Real Americans again. Yeah, they had a couple people double booked for that night. Yeah, I'm just surprised because, yeah, it's not like you can't just go and say, hey, Sin Cara, Primo, Epico, Zach, Kurt, come on, gonna have you guys go and do this. You know? I mean, hell, for shits and giggles, you could have even thrown out the Brooklyn Brawler. But, anyways, at the end, RVD eliminated Mark Henry, and then the Shield came out. RVD just stood in the ring. He was like, okay, that's it. Time for a fight. And then Henry came in, back to back with him. Shield still surrounded the ring, just as they're about to go in. They grab the ropes, about to come in. You hear Big Show's music. I'm just like, and all I could think is, what? What the hell? And Big Show didn't even really climb into the ring. He got down part way. He got down to like part way, or was like around at the apron, if memory best serves. And then they backed out. I'm just thinking, what the fuck? Because I mean, Vince hit the nail on the head about a good year back. You know? Big Show hasn't been a hot commodity since 1998. You know? How many times have you seen a 7-foot gorilla go into the ring, pull out a couple chops, boot to the face, punch to the jaw, and then a choke slam? You know? Give him some more moves. Let him do some more moves. I mean, hell, he was a lot more wrestling dynamic when he was in WCW as Giant. But that's just me thinking again. So, anyways, after that, then they had the CM Punk versus Paul Heyman fight, which before that, Heyman came out still in the suit with his hands taped up, and all I thought was, it's not kind of cool to see. It's not that bad. Kind of cool to see. Heyman with the mic. He's always gold when he's on the Paulie's always gold when he's on the mic. But